In this video, I'm going to show you how to make one of those basic word walls that you may have seen in the session, one of the ABC ones. So I'm going to go up here to create new experience. Something I like to do right off the bat because I always forget is go ahead and label it. So this is going to be my E letter for my letter wall, and I'm going to call it the elephant example. And so I'm going to make a word wall tile for the word elephant as a sight word. And I'm going to go and choose a character here. So I'm just going to search and see if they have an elephant image to put or a character to use. And so I see some 2D ones here. I like those, but I'd rather have a 3D model. It looks like this one might be my best bet. It's a 3D model, but it looks pretty realistic. So I've got my first character card here, and I'm going to add a couple of buttons so that when you look at this word wall tile, you'll have some interactive features. So this first button, I may want to say that let's see it. So that button's going to take you to maybe a 3D image of an elephant. The next one, let's say, watch it. And I'm going to probably have a video that one leads to. And then the last one is spell it. Because sometimes when you're using a word wall, it might be kind of neat to have your students spell the word. Could work for vocab or anything like that. So I like adding sound when it's possible because it makes it adds another dimension or another layer there. And so I'm just going to choose this elephant sound. And so now when this is scanned and this character card is showing, you're going to be able to hear an elephant. So moving on, I'm going to go ahead and choose my see it option. So I'm going to go to add new. And I'm going to look for maybe a 3D portal scene and see if there's anything for elephants there. So I'm going to go to try to select a photo, and I'm just going to search to see if they have anything preloaded for elephant. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It looks like here we've got a couple of options. This one kind of looks like spot the elephant at a zoo kind of area. So I like that one. I think that's the one I'm going to go with. So I'm just going to scoot it out here, and I'm going to link my see it button to my picture. And I do that by clicking on it, clicking the transition control button, and then just clicking on the scene that I want it to transition to. So I've got my first one kind of finished. Now, after they get done viewing this, I want it to take them back to the main menu. So I can click this little icon here. I'm going to click transition, and I'm going to take it back to the main menu. So then now we have the line that takes it back to the main menu. The second kind of button here needs to have a video that goes along with it. So I'm going to go back up to add new. I'm going to select a YouTube scene. Come over here. This is going to be my scene, my third scene. You can kind of see that they're labeled here at the top, or where you can delete it if you want to. But that's going to be my YouTube scene. So I'm going to make sure that it transitions to the right place. So I'm going to click my icon, come over here, click the scene, and now I've got the line that shows that it goes from the button to the next scene. Again, I want it to take them back to the main menu after they get done watching. So I'm going to link it back to the main menu. Now at this point, obviously I could go in and I could open up a YouTube tab and I could find a video that I want to put in, and I could copy and paste that right here. And so that's it's pretty user friendly in that way. So the last option I have is I want to spell it. So I'm going to go back up to add new. And this time, instead of using a character scene or YouTube or anything like that, I'm going to use a text input scene. And so it always kind of starts whenever you add a new scene, it kind of puts it to the far right. And so I'm just going to drag it down a little bit lower so that I have all my scenes here right close together. And in my text box here, I'm going to have the elephant say, can you spell, and then I'm obviously not going to spell it out for them, but I'm going to leave a blank, and hopefully they get the idea that I'm asking them to spell elephant. So this button again needs to lead down here to this tile. Now here I'm going to kind of scoot this down a little bit because I want to do something special here to this one. I wanted to give them a response, based on whether or not they spell it correctly. And so the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to come up here to add new, and I'm going to go over on this side and select text. And then I want to check the text. So I'm going to choose the check text response box and use that one. And obviously it's going to put it back up here at the top right because it always puts things up at the top right. But I'm just going to scroll down here, and I'm going to have my text input box link to my check text response box. Now, based on whether or not it's right, I want to take it to a different place. So if you click on the check text response, you can choose for it to be case sensitive, but I don't really want it to be. I just really want to know if they know how to spell it. So I'm going to ask it to check for an elephant. And then if it does contain, you can see that you have two options here: on response contains and on response does not contain. So we'll come back to that in just a second. So I'm going to come back up here and add a character card. And I'm going to drag that down here to my kind of workspace here, and I'm going to say good job. I'm just going to say good job there. And so this button is going to kind of take them back to the main menu. So I'm just going to label it main menu. And the button has to lead back to the main menu. So I'm going to link that up really quickly so that I don't forget to later. And we're going to come back to this check text response. And if we're going for the on response contains, we're just going to link that up to the good job message, like you got it right. Let's say that they didn't get the answer right. We're going to go back up here to scenes, and we're going to add another scene. I'm going to drag this down to kind of where I'm working in the space down here. And then in this message box, I'm going to say, nice try, or I'm going to say, whoops, try again. And then here for this button, I'm going to have it say, try again. Now at this point, obviously the try again button, it needs to lead to back to the text response. And we need to link here, we need to click this so that if the on response does not contain, it links to the whoops, try again message. Okay, and see I've got my lines kind of crisscrossed, so it's a little confusing. So I always like to test these out just to make sure, but I just want to review really quickly. So I started out with the elephant. You can see it, you can hear it, and this is a 3D image, so the users can actually see all around the elephant. And then if they click see it as the button, they get a 360-degree picture of an elephant in a zoo. If they choose watch it, you can come down here and see that they're going to see a YouTube video if I had put one in there. And then if I ask them to spell it, or if they click on the spell it button, they can come down here. They have the ability to type in their correct response. I've got a check text response so that if they get it correct, it takes them to a good job, which then leads back to the main menu. Or if they get it wrong, it says whoops, try again, and it takes them back to the text response box.